Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Croatia is marking Armed Forces Day. The day is observed to commemorate May 28, 1991, when the first ceremonial muster of the National Guard Corps was held in a football stadium in Zagreb. The main ceremonies were held today at Zagreb's Jarun Lake, where, among other things, the public could inspect some of the equipment of the Croatian Armed Forces and speak to military personnel. Defense, military, and other officials also placed wreaths at several war memorials to pay their respects to those who gave their lives fighting for the country's independence.
We once again want to remember our friends and fellow soldiers and thank them for the peace and freedom we enjoy today in Croatia. The homeland war is the foundation of the modern Croatian state, and our veterans are its cornerstone.
Croatia's parliament, the Sabor, will mark its day on May 30th. Ahead of the event, Parliament opened its doors to the public today. Visitors have the chance to see up close where legislation is debated and adopted. Parliament Speaker Gordan Jandrokovic said today that Parliament will be back in session on June 7th. He responded briefly to questions about the HDZ's prospects of patching together a new parliamentary majority following next Sunday's runoff round of the local elections.
We're heading into the second round of local elections. We still don't want to prejudice the results and the electoral process with what is happening at the national level. We made it very clear that following the local elections, there will be a majority in Parliament that supports this government and back its new ministers.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković is due to meet on Monday with Maxim Poletaev, the #2 executive at Russia's Sberbank, the biggest creditor of struggling Croatian food and retail group Agrokor. The Prime Minister was asked today how dependent Agrokor was on getting more credit from Sberbank.
You will recall that immediately after we appointed the crisis management team, we received a fresh injection of funding from banks that were not only Russian banks, but on the contrary, they were Croatian banks. That's important. Agrokor is a company that can secure liquidity from many other commercial banks.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has supervised the test of a new anti-weapon aircraft system. State media reported the system will be mass-produced and deployed throughout the country. This is the latest in a series of weapons tests that have raised tensions with North Korea's neighbors and the United States. A week ago, Pyongyang said it tested an intermediate-range ballistic missile. British police have released new images of the suspected Manchester suicide bomber Salman Abedi, who killed 22 people and injured dozens more last Monday. The pictures were taken from security camera footage on the night of the attack. Police have arrested 13 suspects in the case. Britain lowered its terror threat level from critical to severe on Saturday. Troops who have been helping police will be withdrawn from the streets on Monday. British Airways says it is working on fixing a problem with its computer system that crippled services at London's airports this weekend. After canceling all of its flights on Saturday, BA canceled about a third of its flights out of Heathrow on Sunday. Services at Gatwick were running near full, but with some delays, the airline said. BA blamed a power supply issue for the outage. The winemaking region around Kutjevo is hosting an international Graševina festival. Graševina, or Welsh Riesling, is Croatia's most popular wine. Croatia's leading wine experts are tasting more than 100 samples of wine from this white wine grape variety. 2016 was a great year for Graševina. The latest vintage has already headed to market.
The qualities are again quite good this year. We've tasted more than a third of the dry Graševina samples from 2016, and the quality is very high as expected. Of course, if Graševina accounts for 27 to 30% of total grape and wine production, then it plays a significant role in the economy. Here we plant Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and of course Graševina. We're planting Graševina right now.
In sports, a young and relatively inexperienced Croatia beat Mexico 2-1 in a friendly in Los Angeles early this morning Central European time. Many of the 16 players on the squad were making their national team debut. Duje Čop scored the first goal in the 36th minute. Fran Tudor then doubled Croatia's margin a minute later. Croatia goalkeeper Lovre Kalinic was the man of the match. He denied 2 attempts by Mexico in succession from close range. Mexico finally scored in the 87th minute. Rijeka may have lost to Dinamo 5-2 in Zagreb on Saturday night in the final match of Croatia's Premier League, but Rijeka's players and fans had reason to celebrate. Rijeka won the league's title this year for the first time in the club's history. Rijeka dethroned Dinamo after an 11-year run as the league's title holder. Rio 2016 Olympic silver medalist and 2-time European champion Damir Martin has won silver in the men's single sculls at the European Rowing Championships in the Czech Republic. The gold went to home favorite Ondrej Sinek. Monday's forecast calls for mostly sunny skies. There may be some passing moderate clouds in the afternoon, mostly in the interior, especially at higher elevations. There will be light to moderate breezes along the coast. Morning lows will range from 8 to 13 in the interior and from 16 to 20 along the shore. The day's highs will be between 24 and 29 degrees. Mostly sunny skies are expected until midweek in the interior. The weather will be less stable on Wednesday with a chance of showers and thunder showers in the northwest. The northern sections of the interior will see more occasional rain and thunder on Thursday. Temperatures will continue to climb until midweek. It will be sunny, quite warm and dry along the coast in the new week. Light breezes will shift temporarily to a moderate southeasterly on Wednesday. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.